Unraveling the fabric of memory, why and why not? Who am I? I'm Quentin Gormley. I'm a senior strategic communications and marketing major from Buffalo, New York. So here's a quick slides overview. First, on slides 4 and 6, we'll talk about the brain and brain history, and then go into brain and memory, and then memory bias, and then why memory bias, and then implications of memory bias, and then conclusion, and then a quick works cited. So about the brain. Brain function is often considered the cornerstone of human cognition and existence. The brain has many functions, obviously. The most important and is the most important and complex organ for all humans. The 3 pound organ has 7 sections, all key for different human functions. Basic brain functions include controls, um, thought, memory, emotion, touch, motor skills, vision, breathing, temperature, hunger, and every process that regulates our body. Together, the brain, the spinal cord that extends from it, make the central nervous system. So about the brain, this is the brain sections and their functions. On the right, you can see all the sections I talked about and listed. Run through them quickly. So the cerebrum is the largest part of the brain, divided into two hemispheres. It's responsible for high brain functions such as thinking, perception, memory. The cerebellum is primarily responsible for coordinating movement, balance, and posture. The brainstem connects the brain and the spinal cord. It regulates the essential body functions such as breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, digestion. Thalamus acts as a acts as a relay station for sensory information, except for smell. It plays a crucial role in consciousness, sleep, and alertness. Hypothalamus regulates vital psychological processes such as body temperature, hunger, thirst, sleep cycle. Um, Amygdala plays a central role in processing emotions, especially fear and aggression. And the hippocampus is crucial for all information, um, for long-term memories, partially um, episodic memories as well. It's involved in spatial navigation and cognitive mapping. So when we talk about the brain and memory in general, we'll be focusing on the hippocampus. So here's a quick history of the brain. From my understanding, I looked into the biggest brain studying throughout history, and these are the 6 events that I thought are most important. So 35 BC, Aristotle processes the idea of the brain as a cooling system for the heart. The 16th century, Andreas Vesalius challenges the belief in ventricles as the site of the brain functions while mapping the nervous system. 1791, Luigi Galvani demonstrates the significance of electrical impulses in the nervous system. 1848, Phineas Gage surveys a traumatic brain injury, leading to changes in the personality and highlighting the importance of specific brain regions. 1932, Sir Charles Sherrington and Edgar Adrian won the Nobel Prize for proposing symptomatic connections between neurons, revolutionizing understanding the central nervous system. And then lastly, 1960s and onward, neuroscience research sees a surge driven by technological advancements, collaborating greatly with enhancing understanding of the brain, and we keep learning more every day. So, brain and memory. The section that controls and deals with brain or deals with human memory is hippocampus. Johns Hopkins described the hippocampus as a curved seahorse-shaped organ on the underside of each temporal lobe. The hippocampus is part of a larger structure called the hippocampal function. Like I said, it supports memory, learning, navigation, and perception of space. Cannot control what the brain actually creates memory-wise. In the basic sense, memories are made to help us survive. Humans have evolved through this way, surviving, obviously, and remembering what hurts us and does not. This leads us to naturally remembering distinctive elements that aid in identifying and avoiding potential threats or safety. Remembering things like where there's fresh water or what is poisonous, versus not is absolutely key for survival and for our ancestors' survival. Now, obviously, the brain doesn't need to remember all that. Where we are as civilization, we don't need to worry about clean water as much. Even with the most basic brain information, the brain creates connections between neurons, almost like writing them together. Over time, these connections get stronger, causing more fond memories. When you go to recall something, the brain calls to these neurons or wired information to recall something. This process has been viewed in live time by science, actually. A quick quote is scientists can watch this play out in real time by simulating and recording slices of brain tissue. So, memory bias. The definition of memory bias is a little bit above right here. Memory bias is a cognitive bias that either enhances or impairs the recall of a memory. Either the chances that the memory will be recalled at all, or the amount of time it takes for it to be recalled, or both, or that alters the content of the reported memory. These biases and errors stem from inherent imperfections that humans can't control. Because if we control them, we would have no bias and we'd remember everything. This cognition issue and cognitive process issues are involved in memory information storage and retrieval. So why memory bias? Memory bias doesn't just cause you to forget an answer on a test, but some comes with bigger implications, obviously. Sometimes memory bias is a positive thing for people. It can protect us from negative experiences. Our brain may cause us to forget or not remember these experiences because they hurt us. The Cleveland Clinic said that one of the most common reasons your mind blocks out things is to protect you from unpleasant, distressing, or traumatic experiences. It's not the same as simply forgetting something. In most cases, you still have the memories, but you just can't access them. Once again, why memory bias? One theory for memory bias is actually the schema theory, which states that individuals organize their knowledge into mental frameworks or schemas that guide encoding the retrieval process. Schemas help in structuring information, but also contribute to the bias by influencing what details are attended to, remembered, or interpreted. Schemas are constantly changing through experience. Another reason for memory bias is the nature of memory in general. Obviously, memories are not just reproductions of past events exactly, unless you have a photogenic memory. They're rather dynamic reconstructions of past events that can be influenced by various factors, such as your emotions during the event, expectations or prior conceptions, and post event information. All these things can obviously change your memory. So, why memory bias? These are more examples of memory biases through injuries or diseases. We see memory bias in many athletes in contact sports. One story that stuck out with me is a Buffalo Bills Hall of Fame running back, Thurman Thomas. He has stated in our interviews that he struggles with CTE, which affects his brain in many ways, and one is memory loss. Thurman stated in an interview that he had to call his wife because he got lost in the street to drive that he drives all the time. Now, a disease that contributes to memory bias is a cognitive disease called Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is a progressive disease, beginning with mild memory loss and possibly leading to a loss of the ability to carry on a conversation and respond in the environment. It's estimated that 5.8 billion people or million people in the U.S. alone have Alzheimer's. Below also lists of other memory affecting diseases that I found in my research. So implications of memory bias, there are negative implications. One is obviously decision-making process. They can affect judgments, preferences, and behaviors. Confirmation bias, predisposes individuals to seek, inherit, and remember information that confirm their pre-existing beliefs or hypothesis, while disregarding contradictory evidence or information. Additionally, narratives constructed from bias or incomplete recollections may perpetrate stereotypes, dissertations, or myths, shaping social attitudes and behaviors. And lastly, memory bias can affect people's everyday habits, from driving down the street to breathing to eating to talking to family. Memory bias can affect people in many ways. So, in conclusion, memory bias and errors represent inherent features of human cognition that influence our perception or reality, judgment, decisions, and contribute to the construction of collective knowledge. There's many reasons why memory bias happens, as we saw. Working with people and being patient is a great way to help with people struggling from memory bias or just trying to correct someone. Thank you.